When you learn charisma, it feels like you're lucid dreaming or something. You're making things change with your words and your expression. Like a raised eyebrow can change everything. It's so powerful. That's the benefit for you. From the perspective of the people you interact with, what they get from it is this expanded sense of human potential that's being conveyed. It's very attractive. They're like, whoa, this person's like free in a way that perhaps I'm not or would like to be, or maybe I am. And it's like game recognized game, you know, kindred spirit. And then it's just boom. And you all of a sudden find yourself having these amazing connections, as opposed to trying to, you know, trick someone into going, false time constraint, can only stay 10 minutes, after party, like saying all this bullshit. I had this one student, he met someone and he like used all these kind of like lines and essentially stratagems to like get him to go back to his place. And then it didn't work out when they got back at the place. I'm like, well, did you like have any sort of attraction? It's like, no. Well, what did you think was going to happen? You're going to get back at the house and then make it work there? No, yeah, no. I used to do this all the fucking time, all the time when I first started out. On Monday nights, they had dollar drink night. So I'd go to this bar and every single night I would go home with somebody. Every single night. Why? I wasn't good. I would just, at the end of the night, when closing came around, I would very enthusiastically run around to people and just say, hey, after party, you guys want to go to an after party? You guys want to go to an after party? I live right like 5 blocks from here. And then someone would go with me. And then we go back and it'd be like, you know, a couple of girls and some fucking dude. And then we go back to my house. And then back at my house, what do? I'd be like, hey, to the girl I was interested in, hey, come up here. I want to show you something cool. And like go into my bedroom. And then it's like, what? You're trying to, that's what this is? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, but hey, hey, convince. And then, you know, this happens for like goes on for 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, Sarah, what's going on in there? And then they leave. And then maybe steal some shit. For their troubles, you know? And that would happen all the time. Because why? I'm pulling without attraction. It's the dumbest thing you could do. But I thought I was doing good. Why? I'm like, well, you're supposed to pull, right? I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing. I'm pulling. Never pull without. What are you doing? If you're trying to do this finagling, it's going to be the same nonsense every time where they're not on board. People need to be 1,000%. I don't want it to be like I'm trying to convince someone and finagle them to come with me. I want them to be like, this is my idea. Let's fucking go. Let's go. That's the kind of win-win type of vibe that you're going for. Now, how do you get there? Well, you got to be yourself to the fucking hilt and not give a fuck. Like you really got to. You're not trying to make 10 people think you're cool, like you're sort of cool. You're trying to find the one person that thinks you're God. I've never met anyone like this before. And by the way, just by virtue of the fact that you can competently approach, and when I say competently, like you can go up, you can strike up a conversation. You're not like taken aback when they initially give you skepticism. You're able to just be fun. You're smiling. You're standing in front of them. You're able to throw out own your intention in a fun and cool way. When the friends come in, you don't get shut down. You're able to deal with that. You know, when the friends come in, what do I say to the friends? I go, hey, good evening. I go, by the way, Sarah and I love one another, and we hope you approve of our union. That's the first thing I say immediately. Why do I say that? Sarah and I love one another, and we hope you approve of our union. What's going to happen when you say that? They're going to look at Sarah's face. And if Sarah's doing this, she doesn't fucking like you. It's not going to work. However, if Sarah's like, yep, getting married, now she has indirectly told her friend, I like this guy, don't destroy him, don't blow him out. Indirectly. Because very rarely will people say that like explicitly to their friend, don't get rid of him. You don't want that hanging over your head like the fucking sword of Damocles. You want to trigger that, you want that to happen. You want to make that happen. And so again, I'll say, Sarah and I love one another, we hope you approve of our union. And if Sarah's like smiling and into it, because the default reaction is going to be save her. Why is that the default reaction? Because 90% of the time it's the right move. Because 90% of the time the guy sucks. It's like if I had a bowl of M&Ms and I'm like, hey dude, you want some M&Ms? 90% of them are poison and will give you severe diarrhea for 3 days. You'll be getting up in the middle of the night, gastrointestinal jihad, pissing out your ass for 3 days. You want some? You'll knock them to the fucking floor. Why? It's the right move. What about the 10% of the M&Ms that were good? Doesn't matter. So it's like 10% of the time they blow out a good guy. Who fucking cares? The next idiot's coming up in 10 seconds anyway. So you're going to be caught in that crossfire, that dynamic. So again, that's the best way I found to get around it. Now, sometimes they'll be like, well, I don't approve. In which case I go, oh, well, that's interesting because we don't give a fuck. We were just being polite. And now, on account of your rude outburst, now you're disinvited. I don't know what it is you're disinvited from, but I can assure you, should some sort of event come up, you will be summarily removed from consideration from the guest list. You're done. You're done in this town. You'll never work again. You'll never work again in this town. Get out. Get out. You know, and of course, like when I say we don't give a fuck, at first they'll be like, huh? And they're like ready to clap back. But then as I go into that, you know, other spiel, they're like, oh, it becomes increasingly ridiculous. They're like, oh, okay. Funny guy. Okay, I get it. He can kind of roll with the punches. All right, respect, bro. Like a lot of times they'll just like kind of let it happen. Not all the time. But again, these are just best practice. Nothing's going to work 100% of the time. But the point is I don't get flummoxed. Like most guys just go, dirt. I guess it didn't work. I guess it didn't work. Right? So again, it's about playing it to the hilt, playing your personality to the hilt, owning it. We talked about the 3 characters. Who are the 3 characters? The cartoon lunatic, the urbane conversationalist, and the game show host. A lot of people hear the cartoon lunatic, and they're like, well, why does that work? Provokes emotions, but more importantly, I think a guy that needs it to work is not going to say these things. Does that make sense? Like a guy who needs it to work he's going to measure his words very, very carefully. He's going to say things that don't rock the boat. He's going to try. Someone who needs the interactions to work, that means it typically doesn't work. Somebody who is like so invested that they're carefully measuring their words in any situation, whether it's the job interview, whether it's the getting the apartment, whatever the hell it is, measuring their words very carefully means they desperately need it to work, and their frame is like that of desperation. Now, so again, a guy that needs it to work is not going to say those things. Like I met another girl in Vegas the very next night. Her and her friend hooked up with my assistant and one of the students. In fact, I was talking to her later, and like, so basically my assistant was speaking to her. And then what happened was he left. And so I said to him, I said, what happened with Jill there? He goes, she fucking sucks. And he just left. And then so I went and started talking to her. She's like, where did Justin go? And I go, oh, he said you fucking suck. And so she goes, wait, why? Why did he say that? Why? Now she's upset. She needs to know why he said she, quote, fucking sucked. And every time she sees him in the vicinity, she's like, hey, come here. She's like trying to talk to him. Now, here's the thing. The second I said that, the second that came out of my mouth and I said, he said you fucking sucked, I knew immediately if I wanted to hook up with her, I just fucked up by saying that. Because now she's going to be obsessed with him. Why? It's confusing why that would work. Because, well, first of all, because we're cool for one. Like if some random like idiot said it, she'd be like, yeah, whatever, fuck off. But like we're cool. So that's number one. But number two, it's the same reason how I can post a YouTube video and all the comments are like, Jeff does it again, another great video. Holy shit, man, I learned so much from this video, bro. Damn, Jeff, legend. I keep coming back to these videos. But then one of them was like, actually, ACKSHUALLY, actually, like some Redditor, like this, I don't agree with this, and here's the reason why. Like all those comments I'll ignore. That one I'll be like, well, now I need to craft like a fucking 10-minute dissertation as to why this guy's incorrect. Like you have a tendency to focus on that. So interestingly enough, like later, it's like Justin, so he comes by, he ended up coming back because logistically it worked better. By the way, here's the caveat on that. Just because like some guys will hear that, some people hear this and then they decide to just start, they say excuse me, then now they start saying outrageous things for the sake of it. So I got another student who's taken several programs, and he'll do that. And I'm like, bro, you got to stop saying this. Because now, he's not saying them because he blurts out and he generally thinks it's funny. He's saying them because now he's trying to get a reaction. So if you're trying to say polarizing things specifically to get a reaction, that's equally bad because you're trying to make it work. Anytime you're trying to make it work, it's bad. Anytime that you are conveying any sort of like emotional weight or concern, or that it's a serious thing or it's a big deal, it's generally going to sink it. It needs to be like very light and frictionless. Like it needs to seem like it's not a big deal. It's just fun, a dream.
Hey Jeff, today is the last day of the Charisma Mentoring Program. It has been 8 weeks, and 8 weeks just blew by. Thank you for being our coach, for being available to answer questions. I would say the main takeaways that I personally had was confidence is built. It's not something that you just put on. This was like a process that you walked us through of like, hey, this is how real confidence is built up, and that takes a lot of the stress and pressure off of it. If anyone else was looking for growth in this area, like in trying to be a better communicator and try to talk with other people, I've done a lot of courses, a lot of programs, a lot of trainings. This is the one that I was looking for. Jeff, you really do put the effort in trying to make sure that we leave with way more value than we probably even came in expecting. Again, thank you. I hope to work again with you in the future, man. And yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks, Jeff.